Good morning from Australia and Sydney, Australia. We've just arrived. This is Kelly's and the kids' first trip in Oz. So far, we're on our way to Adelaide today to show you what it's like. We're going to be there for 1 week in Adelaide, and we thought we'd show you what it's like to live as a family in 1 week in Adelaide. But I guess first things first, what has your first impressions been like of Australia so far in Sydney?
Well, it's kind of surreal coming from a place like South Africa. You don't realize what life can be like, and I think when you get here, it's almost like I keep asking Chris, what's the catch? Like, why is it so easy, and why does everything work? And you kind of question a lot. You question and naturally you compare. It's not that you're trying to diss your own country. It's just because it's so obviously different, I think, and things like public transports are just accessible and easy, and just the basic things work here, and you can see where your money goes. And I think it's surreal is the only word really that I can explain right now.
So enjoy the rest of the vlog while we go and explore and show you the sights and sounds of Adelaide. First time for all of us.
First time for all of us, and not one of those most visited Australian cities. So we hope you guys enjoy what we have to find out.
So we are here in the Adelaide Botanical Gardens, right in the middle of the CBD of Adelaide. We caught a free tram service all the way from the Glenelg train stop, and I must say it was clean, fast. Arrived right in the middle of the city at Rundle Mall. Walked through, got ourselves like a nice ice cream. Now we're experiencing this beautiful, quiet, well, not quiet for long with these kids, but this really scenic place right here in the heart of Adelaide. Hey, what do you guys think?
It's good.
It's just good. All right. Welcome to Adelaide and
South Australia. For those of you who don't know where Adelaide is, it's like in the middle at the bottom of Oz.
Adelaide is, according to The Economist, the 10th most livable city in the world. And as sort of a traveling parents vlogs over here, we thought it would be quite important to actually give you that glimpse into what Adelaide is, and actually trying to understand what does it mean in terms of being the most livable city.
So I'll do the talking because I'm in charge. Okay. So I am Jaclyn.
What did you like to talk?
And this is my husband Shane.
Okay, so we are a family of 5. We've got 3 young kids who are 10 years old, 8 and 5.
Adelaide is definitely an area that grows on you. Being here for the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've realized that it's a very accommodating place for families.
I think Adelaide is very much a big farming town. It's like a farm with 1.2 million people on beach and some beaches. Yeah, it's very network driven. Everyone knows everybody in the industries that you're in.
Every single park is catered for, and it's a fully kitted out jungle gym. There's a little park bench there for the moms and dads. Some of them have got little trails, little tracks in them for the scooters. So it's in abundance. We've been to the beach numerous times. It's a really good place for families.
Things just worked here. We got here and within 24 hours had our Medicare cards, which is our medical aid. We had our licenses done, all in a matter of an afternoon. So we were quite sort of surprised how a lot of people actually said to us, a lot of Australians saying, things take so slow here. For us, it's the complete opposite. We've been wild.
Like the area itself is phenomenal. It's much like since we've been exploring, it's a lot like Cape Town. We picked up that people in Adelaide don't drive more than 25 minutes. So, because everything's really close, but you've got the city, and then behind the city is the hills with the windlands, and then you've got the beach, rainy winters, summers. So, the more we're exploring, the more we're like, oh, it feels like the Cape, which we loved the Western Cape, so it's really attractive for us.
There's lots of options, and I suppose what it comes down to is which area you kind of want to stay. That's also a thing. I mean, I see a lot of people always ask what's a good area to stay in, because you only really know what it's like once you get there. You can have all the information back home as much as possible, but only when you get here do you really realize how close things are to each other.
One of our biggest learnings, or maybe probably the biggest mistake we made coming in, is we secured an Airbnb for 2 weeks, thinking that should give us enough time to find an Airbnb and move in. And it wasn't enough time. We needed at least 4 to 6 weeks of accommodation arranged before you can get into a rental, because it just takes that long for the accommodation to become available, and you have to, through the different process that they have here, it just took us longer.
There are certain things that you really need to take into account, is that no one knows you, you don't have a history in this country. And you've got literally 15 minutes to see a property, and you've got to make a fairly substantial financial decision of a weekly or a fortnightly rent that would necessarily could pay for a large house back in South Africa, and you're getting a quarter of the size for it here.
You'll find super big houses that are, you can see they cost over $1 million. And then you'll find some that are costing about $300,000-400,000, but they're the older, the old people that bought ages ago. So, but you might have a really fancy house, and then right next to it a really old school 1960 house, and then another 2 beautiful homes, and then old ones where the guys got all his timber on the front yard.
So I'm an educating fart. I'm so besotted with education. So that was one of our big reasons for moving here. The education system is very child-centered, in the sense of the teachers. How I see in South Africa, we still got a very old model of teaching, very teacher-centered, very formal, very authoritative. Where in Australia it's very much child-centered. Teachers are constantly on workshops, constantly being empowered, and the systems are from government filter through to the public schools, literally sharpened to perfection.
This was also the huge difference for us. So our kids were at a private school in Joburg, all 3 kids costing an absolute fortune. I mean, we could have bought a car for the price we were paying for their schooling. Every year, yeah. Whereas here, they go to the local government school. The classes are the same size as the school at Trinity, where they were at in South Africa, and they have support in the classrooms. They have the teachers contact you just as much. You've got support officers in the class, and the only difference is in the government schools is there's no sport after school.
Rule of thumb is they say if you're at least 15 kilometers away from the actual city, all the public schools are pretty good. You're safe. So that was also when we were looking for areas, all our areas, we made sure we were looking within 10 kilometers radius of the city to make sure that we were safe for the schools and the type of caliber of school that we were hoping for. So I did a lot of homework, and this is maybe a tip, and it depends on everyone. I did a lot of homework with regards to schools back home, and my perspective changed completely when I was here and I experienced it, because I had once you see the area and you look at the area and you see what's next to the school, or you see that, oh, there's an industrial area just a kilometer away, I didn't pick that up on Google Maps, or I didn't pick that up on the school's website. So I had a list of schools that I'd already back in South Africa spent some time on their Facebook pages and on their websites, and when we eventually got here and we drove around, like, I pretty much scrapped most of that.
The job market is not that big, and your salaries aren't probably as competitive as they would be in a larger city. But then again, your cost of living is less, your lifestyle is better, your work-life balance is better. So you really have to sit and go, what's important to you and your family.
Yeah, I think the holistic compromise is exactly that. I think when you move to a smaller town, wherever you are in the world, you compromise a bit of salary, you compromise a bit of the busyness for a better laid-back lifestyle. But more importantly, I think it's that work-life balance that I don't think a lot of people think of.
From what I understand from the recruiters, that government accounts for 70% of the jobs.
So you need to be a British citizen,
Australian citizen. You need to be an Australian citizen for some of those jobs.
Pretty much 90% of the South Africans we talked to got their job not on Seek, not through a recruiter, through someone, like someone they knew someone who had an opportunity for them.
Or just being personal. So instead of just submitting your application and hoping for the best, you submit, you follow up with the person, you call them, you follow up, and just on a weekly basis. But in saying that, there is opportunity, I think, for individuals to come and start up their own thing. I think there is definitely a market for that. So if you're an entrepreneur and you can think of something that could suit the market here, I think you could make a success of it quite easily.
And subsequently, since we've been here, because there's COVID-19 jobs, the restrictions and so forth, you're probably looking at about, and I think when we came over the Rand-dollar exchange, once you got a car, once you got food, once you paid this, paid that, you're looking at about 50,000, that's 5,000 Aussie dollars per month. And I'm talking an average now. It could be less, it's less for us at the moment, but that's kind of an average. If you're looking, once you got your car, you got your insurance, you put your kids in school, you put food on the table, you're doing activities, you've got cell phone contracts.
Yeah, my kids have adapted so well. I mean, my oldest is loving school, wants to go every day, happy. He gets to walk to school by himself. He gets to have no homework, whereas he was writing tests and exams back in South Africa. So he really likes the way of learning. Each kid has their own laptop or iPad at school for their exclusive use. So he's loving that. My daughter had really close friends back in South Africa at school, so she struggled a little bit with the friends, but has now kind of started making friends. And then my youngest started also school this year and loves it. So they have just adapted, they've amazed us. Everyone's so worried about their kids settling in and adapting. And looking back, that's the last thing you should be worried about, because they do. They just make it work.
What I would recommend is draw up a list of essentials, so that it's things that you think you won't need or you'll definitely need for, say, the first month and a half, or let's say even 2 months. So pots and pans, cups, saucers, a microwave your family can live with, like one or live with one, your kettle, your toasters, those kinds of things. So make a list of essential things that you need when you hit the ground. And I would say then don't bring those up.
We never fit it in here, because like our home back home was really big, and now we've got a much smaller place here, and thank goodness we didn't bring all our stuff with, because it would have been all in the garage.
And I suppose it comes down to your own work experience, what's on your CV, how you sell yourself, and like anywhere else in the world. I think jobs are scarce everywhere these days, so it's not a matter of particular areas having less jobs available than East Coast or West Coast. But if you look for the opportunities, if you look for the if you're connecting and looking for the opportunities and you've got the skills or you upskill yourself, you can find something. There's strange enough, there's a ton of jobs here. If you want a job, you can go and get a job.
An emotional tip, which we picked up, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, prepare for, and no one really prepares you for the fact. Everyone speaks about like the containers and the immigrating and bring this and X, Y, Z, but no one really speaks about how vulnerable you become and how much you almost become insecure in this move. A lot of new decisions, like in the first month we had to make 1 million new decisions, which back home we were just easy, like life was easy and we just went with the flow every day. We didn't have to make so many big decisions, and now we have to make massive decisions, so we fought a lot. We're tight now, we're fine, but we had lots of petty fights along the way, and at least we were prepared for that, and we knew like this is not an indication of who we are and where our marriage is, this is just an indication of change, and being so aware of that and gathering at night again and saying, hey, like, sorry I was such a cow today, or sorry about this or whatever, and picking up the next day and going, let's do this, and not making those little moments shape your whole decision and make you regret your decision, because I think for the first year it's a bit of a roller coaster emotionally, so just don't be hard on yourself emotionally, just take it easy.